Hello, and welcome to the Science of Social Problems YouTube channel. My name is Manuel Galavan, and I'll use my background in science, psychology, and academic research to provide scientific explanations for the problems of society. As you can tell from the title, this is a channel introduction. By the time you see this, there should be other content on my channel, so go check that out if you feel like you don't need an introduction here. But I wanted to use this as an opportunity to give you a sense of who I am, what's driven me to make these videos for you, and what are the aims of this channel, and also what are my qualifications to talk about these topics. So I grew up in the southern reaches of Texas. I'm from a biracial family. I have a Hispanic father, an Anglo mother. I grew up solidly middle class in a majority minority community called the Rio Grande Valley. I attended college in the same community and got a degree in psychology because I was really interested in social problems like inequality, climate change, and thought psychology was the best way to try to answer and address these problems. And I wanted to do research and I wanted to get a PhD, but I was also the first in my family to do so, and I missed the deadlines to apply to grad school as an undergrad. I graduated from undergrad and missed that deadline 10 years ago, and now I'm finally in a PhD program. In the intervening years, I taught high school, got a master's degree at UT San Antonio, worked at a lab at Stanford, and finally I'm in a PhD program at UNC Chapel Hill. The through line from my academic journey is that I was fascinated with social problems. What are they? What causes them? How do we fix them? Etc. I sought answers to these questions within and beyond academia. So I love to keep up with current events and I love to debate. I used to spend hours arguing with people on Facebook and Reddit, and when friends would ask me, like, why do you subject yourself to these types of contentious debates, I would just tell them, like, my beliefs sound great in my head, but it isn't until I subject my ideas to the scrutiny of others and engage with disagreement that I can really test out how well thought out my ideas are. To some extent, this is why I really love science, which kind of formalizes this process through the peer review process. So after several years of creating a ton of free content for Reddit, I decided I wanted to move beyond the niche audience that's my friend group or the subreddit that I'm in and start a career in science communication. And so this led to the creation of my blog, The Science of Social Problems, and finally this channel with the same name. So why am I doing this? Well, in addition to caring deeply about the problems of society, I'm concerned about the growing influence of misinformation online. This misinformation is particularly concerning because it often pushes people to stand against progress towards solving social problems. So think of the anti-vax movement or misinformation around climate change, or the extensive amount of racist, anti-trans, sexist, homophobic propaganda that often presents itself as intellectual discourse. Over the years, I've also gained so much from free educational content on YouTube, so I wanted to give back to this community, and I was also inspired by many science communicators like Carl Sagan, or people on the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, or Phil Plait. However, these science communicators often steer clear of politically divisive topics, and I want to steer into these areas and provide people a science-based account that promotes compassion and empathy. I want to help you feel more empowered to enter in these conversations informed by the relevant science with a list of citations with which to learn more. And I want this to be a place where you can find other people who are looking to understand and find solutions to social problems. So maybe I should back up. What do I mean by social problems? So there's a ton of social problems. Let's just go through a quick list, right? So there's violence, inequality, suicide, materialism, depression, anxiety, sexual assault, wage theft, racism, sexism, nuclear proliferation, climate change, threats to democracy, media bias, anti-trans bigotry, homophobia, education, healthcare, poverty, pseudoscience, and the list just goes on. This, of course, is not an exhaustive list of all the social problems studied by researchers, but it should give you a sense of what to expect going forward. And I should add that it's not all gloom and doom. We'll talk about intervention points and solutions as well. What's most important to me is to make somewhat entertaining, long-form, well-researched content that'll help you understand the world better and hopefully provide resources from which you can have evidence-based conversations with others. That being said, good content takes time to make, and I am a full-time graduate student, so I may not touch many of these topics in great depth for a long time. And as a budding researcher, I'm just going to start with topics that I'm familiar with and I study directly, and then I'll branch out from there. Anyway, if you're watching this introductory video, I sincerely hope that you subscribe, leave a comment on YouTube. The more engagement there is around my content, the faster the channel will grow, and all of that increases the chance that this YouTube channel doesn't just become another project that I start and then abandon. So that's really the end of the introduction to the channel. Although something I want to do at the end of my videos is suggest other content creators on YouTube and beyond. Today I want to mention Unlearning Economics. Unlearning Economics is a relatively recent channel, but I really do see them as an analog to what I'm trying to do here. He's an academic economist with critical thoughts on economics and politics, and he's bringing like a PhD level informed perspective to YouTube, and I'm here for it. So check him out if you haven't already. And that's it. Thanks.